Newcastle United fans, brace yourselves for some exciting news. In this video, we dive into the latest transfer news surrounding Newcastle United's surprising decision to reject the chance to sign Christian Pulisic from Chelsea. But don't worry, the Magpies have identified 5 other summer transfer targets to help bolster their squad ahead of their return to the Champions League. From Leeds United's Tyler Adams to Leicester City's Harvey Barnes and James Maddison, we'll reveal who Newcastle's eyeing from relegated sides to extract value for money in a difficult summer window. Plus, we'll discuss how Newcastle is trying to be clever with their recruitment and which positions they want to strengthen to cope with the extra demands of their return to the Champions League after a 20-year absence. Firstly, it has been reported by The Athletic that Newcastle United has rejected the chance to sign Christian Pulisic from Chelsea, despite showing previous interest last summer and in January. The Magpies had approached Chelsea to sign Pulisic on loan earlier this year, but saw their offer rejected and moved on to other targets. However, with the US international now set to leave Stamford Bridge and favoring a move within the Premier League, Newcastle informed Chelsea that they are not interested. Newcastle is expected to be very active in this transfer window as they prepare for a season of Champions League and bid for another top 4 finish. However, the club clearly feels as though there are more valuable targets on the market than Pulisic. While the 24-year-old may have been and could still be a good signing for a Premier League club, his injury record presents a significant risk that Newcastle can now afford to avoid. Moving on to the next piece of news, Newcastle United is reportedly eyeing moves for players from relegated sides to help bolster their squad ahead of next season. The club's desire to extract value for money out of a difficult summer window has led them to explore bids for a clutch of players relegated from the Premier League. Leeds United's versatile midfielder Tyler Adams has been discussed, and he could be a valuable addition to the club. Adams was arguably Leeds' best player last season, and also thrived at the World Cup in December with the USA national side. Despite his season being ended by a hamstring injury back in March that required surgery, sources close to the club indicate that Newcastle was impressed by Adams's character and combative nature when he played at St. James Park during a goalless draw on New Year's Day. The 24-year-old, who arrived at Leeds from RB Leipzig for just £20 million last summer, is also able to play wide or through the middle in midfield, and can also be deployed as a wing-back, and would hopefully be available for less than £30 million. Another player who impressed Newcastle's staff during their meetings last season is Kyle Walker-Peters. The former Tottenham prospect, who has been capped twice by England, can play at both left and right back, which would make him a perfect hybrid player for manager Eddie Howe. The 26-year-old has refused to commit to staying at Southampton following relegation and could be available for a fee of around £15 million, whereas Arsenal is asking for more than £30 million for Scotland international Kieran Tierney. Southampton duo Romeo Lavia and James Ward-Prowse are also on Newcastle's radar. Lavia impressed in his first season as a Premier League starter, and Newcastle is keen to keep up to date with developments. Meanwhile, Ward-Prowse, who is Southampton's England international, is also of interest, although the fact he will be 29 years old later this year and has an asking price of more than £50 million means that deal is less attractive at this stage. Newcastle's interest in Leicester City's Harvey Barnes and James Maddison is long-standing. Maddison was the subject of a £50 million bid from Newcastle last summer, which Leicester City rejected. A similar fee is currently being discussed, although the club knows they face competition from Tottenham Hotspur for the England international, who has previously indicated a desire to play in the capital. Barnes is another potentially appealing option, given he was Leicester's top goal scorer in the Premier League last season, with 13 goals, and Newcastle is keen to add more goals from wide areas next term. Sources have told Telegraph Sport that the prices being quoted to Newcastle at the moment are extremely high, raising the issue of the so-called Newcastle tax, with clubs asking for more money from the Saudi Arabian-owned clubs than other interested parties. With deals for the likes of Bayer Leverkusen's Moussa Diaby, and RB Leipzig's Dominik Szoboszlai, proving problematic due to a combination of high transfer fees and extravagant wage demands which make those transfers unlikely, Newcastle is trying to be clever with their recruitment. So, it's clear that Newcastle is trying to be clever with their recruitment, and fans can look forward to seeing which new players will be joining the team in the coming months. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more Newcastle United content. Thanks for watching.